Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know there's a lot of people who subscribe to the channel due to the Michael Myers figure content, so I wanted to give this guy some shine. It's been a year. I just checked on my channel and it's been about a year since I've shown this one, so I've done a couple of bits to him since then. I've repainted the mask and I have done a little trick to the hair. It's the same hair that I put on a year ago, but I used a heat gun to kind of flatten it down and just make it a bit more natural looking. And I also blacked out the eyes inside the mask a little bit. Not totally, it's more of a kind of shadow over the eyes, like a kind of grey tone. They're still there, and you can still see them. They're just not as obvious, because they were really jumping out at me and it was a bit unsightly. But as I've said many times on the channel, it was actually Rob Zombie's Halloween film from 2007 that got me into the character. I was always aware of him, but it was the Tyler May Michael Myers that kind of piqued my interest, and I really wanted to get a figure of him. So this is the Neca quarter scale Rob Zombie Michael Myers figure, and I have added some kind of wet effects which I did a long time ago, so I'm not sure exactly what I used. I wanted to make it look like he was walking in the rain. It's not too heavy, but when the light shines on him there is a little bit of a glisten in places. But then obviously, like I said, repainted the mask, did some weathering, added the real hair, and now blacked out the eyes and bladed up his knife a fair bit as well. It's not the most posable figure, it's pretty much a statue, but his arms do move and the head does move. A little bit of movement in the feet, but not much. But it's a very, well, with these mods, it's a very accurate representation of the Tyler May Michael Myers. Drop a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and check me out on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for plenty of pictures. And it's a friggin' awesome looking piece. Look at that. It's like, you don't really get too many official Rob Zombie Michael Myers things anymore. Like back when the movie came out, obviously we had this, we had the 7-inch version from Neca, and then when Halloween 2 came out in 2009, you had, I think it was a Mezco hobo figure, I think it was Mezco, and then maybe a couple of other little bits and pieces here and there, but hopefully Trick or Treat Studios will bring out some Michael Myers Rob Zombie stuff in the future, and maybe a company would give us a quarter scale Rob Zombie Michael Myers statue, because that could be amazing. But this is the closest thing to that right now, and I mean, as you can see, it looks fantastic. Obviously that's mostly down to the mods. It was a great piece to begin with, but the plastic hair, the original hair that was on him, full plastic, you can just peel it off with a hairdryer. You have to really kind of pry it off, and then you can, get started on adding real hair to it. But once you do, and blacking out those eyes a fair bit has helped a lot as well. I just didn't like seeing his eyes, and I know in the movie you do see his eyes in the mask quite a lot, but there is a fan edit of the movie on YouTube where he removes that digitally and just makes it look like the classic Michael Myers, 2 black holes in the mask, and it really has an amazing effect. I mean, it makes an already scary Michael Myers even scarier, because that angle right there, that's speaking to me. It's saying stuff. It's saying, go get him. So like I said, after doing the black wash over the eyes, it did help make it look more to my liking, but you can still see his eye in there. If I zoom in here, you can still make it out, and the other one too, but that's kind of hidden in the shadows right now. But I like how subtle it is now. I think that makes it a lot more creepy and realistic, because the eyes are quite deeply embedded into this sculpt. So this is a more creepy and realistic look now. Nice that they're still there. Look at that hairy chest action as well. Another nice little detail here by Neca is the fact that they sculpted the collar perfectly, as in it's kind of down flat at the front but raised up at the back, and that is just a lovely little detail. Also the way they sculpted the look of the corduroy kind of collar, those lines and the stitching, that's really well done too. I think he's a little bit dusty, folks, because he's been up on the shelf in the Myers room for best part of a year without me touching him. But beautiful work on the collar by Neca, and the whole outfit just sculpted to perfection. I never thought I'd like a brown coveralls clad Michael Myers, but who knew? I mean, it's one of my favorites. It's a really good look. Very grimy, nasty and grungy.
Let's just appreciate the detail in the sculpt all over this thing, man. Just this section here. I mean, there's so much to look at. There's the accurate length, the way the coveralls come down onto the boot, the wrinkle in the boot there, the weathering on the tip of the boot. See that? All these little buttons and the zippers. And you can see where I've added little bits of wet look. More stitching, more buttons, sculpted so well. And then the hands are really nasty looking. There is that kind of unsightly seam there on the knuckles, but I think I could fix that if I really wanted to. And I intend to, I'd lose the articulation, but there is that kind of gap there. So I was thinking of getting my little hacksaw, cutting the arm off, filing away, or using a Dremel to get away, to make it all flat on both ends, and then just glue it together to get a more seamless look, because you do get a separation there, and that always bugs me when I see it. But that's pretty easy to do. Let's just get a look here. So, I think that hole there is for the sensor, because you can turn him on and then the Halloween theme plays and you can hear him breathing. It's really loud and kind of high pitched and hurts my ears, to be honest, so I don't really like to turn it on. Plus copyright for the music, so I think that hole there is for the sensor, the motion sensor. And all the little patches, insignia or whatever. There's the on and off switch. And the speaker at the back, all the screws, insert battery compartment. Another gruesome hand. Plenty of blood there. It's been so long, I can't remember which blood is mine and which blood was already on there. I can't remember how bloody this guy was. Maybe that's all my blood. I'd have to go look at some YouTube videos of just the stock figure. And remind myself, did I do all this blood? Like all here and stuff? Is that me, or is that the figure? But let me just move him back a bit. He's so big I have to really lean back here to get him in full shot, but look at that. It's absolutely awesome looking. Great proportions. Really good stance with the walk in. He looks really, really good. That's the great part about his legs just being a full seamless sculpt. That natural way the material is kind of getting that wrinkle, the big curve that goes down there because his leg's moving forward. You wouldn't get that otherwise. It's just very natural looking. All the little wrinkles. Beautifully sculpted. The hole in the knee there. The pose that they sculpted him in really reminds me of the front cover of the DVD and the Blu-rays, where he's starting to walk forward. Even the arm positions and the way he's holding the knife and the pose of that hand. And the position of the head, even though that's down to you really, but he's, the cover I'm thinking of, he's just slightly looking down, but coming for you. And I think that's what they were going for, that classic DVD cover. There is the other front cover where he's wearing the other mask, the more kind of pumpkin one with the long hair, where he's facing away from us. That's another very common one, but this is one of the ones I have in my collection as far as the DVD cover goes. But excellent sculpt on the mask, just need a little repaint. The hair, that's probably the weakest point on the stock figure. Rip that off, and then you have to sculpt the rest of his head with clay and then stick the hair on that. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but I've done it so many times now on figures and life-size masks, I'm starting to get used to it. It's not so much of a problem. Still something I dread every time because it's just time consuming and it's messy work, but I've done my fair share of hairing now. Just wish I could do it to myself. Follically challenged, see? That's alright, I'm more aerodynamic. Cut through the wind like a knife through butter. But there he is, one of my prized possessions. The Myers that started it all for me. Like it? or not. This was the one that just triggered my interest in the character. So I hope you've enjoyed the look at him, folks. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at dknight333, and I'll see you real soon. I've got some good ideas for videos coming up, so keep it locked. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.